recording?
Yes, we are.
No, we're just bored. Just gonna sit here quietly. Because that makes for entertainment.
Welcome to the show, Hank. Today we have... I am completely unprepared yet again. We have author David James Keaton, author of Fish Bites Cop, which I haven't read yet, but is my favorite name for an anthology ever. The Last Projector, and released... Well, this could be on Monday. So released Friday, the 19th, we have Pig Iron. Welcome to the show, James. Or David.
Did you say Hank twice? Seriously?
Do you want to take two?
No, I said welcome to the show, James, because I looked at my screen, and his name is David James Keaton, and I saw James. That's what I said, because I'm fucking tired. We'll keep that intro.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Right. There's Shocker.
Me stumble bumming my way through it.
Alright. So,
Do we still have David?
Yep, I'm right here. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay. I thought technology revolted against us yet again.
There's a little bit of a delay, but I'm hearing you guys. I can hear you.
Okay.
oh, okay. Ah.
So,
Oh shit,
David
you're looking at me.
was
Is that on
Huh?
purpose? That like Brady Bunch thing you're doing?
Yeah.
You're like looking towards the square that I'm at? Was that accidental?
yeah.
Can you guys like reach up, reach over?
See if I can. No, other side. There we go.
We can high five, Dennis.
yeah!
You can have some fun with that.
I can punch Travis right there.
David was nice enough to supply us with copies of Pig Iron so we could talk to him about it. Dennis, did you get a chance to read your copy?
Yeah, I started reading it, and then my entire system crashed. So I don't know what that says.
Oh, that's
like,
what it did to
awesome.
the publisher too, actually.
I was like, oh, I got like 3 pages in, and everything's like, so your system crashed. I'm like, oh, awesome. So I've been yelling at technology for a while, just because I'm a Luddite now. I think I'm just going to go that way. Anyways, so I did start reading it. Yes, and the beginning was pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie. So that's as far as I got. That's the best I can give you.
So your little ebook thing is bricked?
No, it just crashed, and I can't figure out why, because I don't know enough about technology to figure it out. My answer to just hit it with a hammer. That's pretty much my answer. So.
Well, I've had a chance to read it, and imagine the best spaghetti western you've ever seen. We're talking like old spaghetti westerns, mixed with the good, the bad, and the ugly, mixed with I don't even have a good reference for the horses that won't die. But it's
Highlander.
Not viewers?
Highlander has horses that won't die.
It's got people that won't die. It's got Highlanders.
Yeah.
Highlander Horses sounds like a good band name.
Horses that won't die. That actually is a good band name. Let's start an ongoing list of
Good band
things.
names. What kind of music though? Well, I mean, horses don't want to die.
EDM.
EDM.
Yep.
Yeah, EDM.
It'd be a good country band too. But it's bizarro western. Like that's my take on it. It's a western book. Like it's a dusty western. It has cowboys, horses, 6-shooters, but it's also absurd because it's at such a level that it can't just be a normal western. It's a bizarro western.
I can see that. It's kind of postmodern, I guess, because the guns don't make any sense. Did you notice that the guns are ridiculous? And
Yeah.
none of the dates match. They never work. There's it's more like it's a Western about Westerns, I guess, because I have no knowledge of Western fiction, Western literature. So it's my imitation of a Western movie, basically. I have no Western education to draw upon.
So it is exactly like the movie then. So with a 6-shooter, you get 13 shots.
Yeah, pretty much. And if you point
except
at
for
people,
the
they catch on fire.
guns, see, and that's the hardest part about talking about brand new books is you don't want to spoil it for anybody. But they don't work properly. Like, you don't get 13 shots because they don't work properly. Like, they just... You guys can hear that, right?
Hear what?
Yeah,
The weird Copa America soundbite thing.
Don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Now you're back.
Oh, we had a connection issue there for a second.
There, now I can hear you.
Okay.
Are we getting sunspots? Is that what's going on today, dude? Your technology is just
I'll
fucking
tell
with
you
us
what,
constantly.
man. It's been fucked up around here too. My phone.
Yeah, I don't know. My camera stopped working the last Skype thing I did. It said it's being used by another program, which is about the scariest fucking thing you can hear. But I heard that's common, like the drivers are messed up or something.
Really?
Yeah, so if I click on it, it says camera in use by other program.
Mine does that, but my streaming software is what we're using right here to switch, or with the borders and all that stuff. And if I don't have it linked to that, it'll tell me that if I have my camera on there. So your camera might just actually be hooked to another program that's running in the background, possibly.
Great. So I guess that's not as scary as if it just said, shh.
Yeah, right.
We're watching you. Yeah, I can't get it to click on. I can't get it to do shit, so.
That's fun.
So I'm just amazed that this is working. This is a miracle right here that this actually is happening, that it's connecting at all, so.
Yeah, we are known for our own technical difficulties.
Oh yeah. That was earlier.
We've gone.
Tried calling me 3 times and it just kept hanging up. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. just keep answering it. I guess sooner or later we're gonna connect. I don't know.
Well, where are you guys all at? Are you, what part of the country are you in?
Craig and myself are just outside of Chicago, and Travis is in the middle of nowhere in a mountain, underground.
In New Jersey.
A mountain of toxic
so therefore
waste.
not a mountain.
Okay.
A pile.
So, yeah, there's crazy weather between Louisville and Chicago. That might have something to do with it. We got tornado warnings and all sorts of stuff going on.
Oh, really?
Jersey, I don't know anything outside of Sopranos with Jersey, but
Toxic
that's
waste.
it's beyond Thunderdome out here. So
it's a happy apocalypse beyond Thunderdome. That's the PG rated one. That's the happy one. They all hug it out at the end of that one. Nobody dies.
That's true. No one does die in that movie. Forgot about that. A load of crap.
Does nobody die beyond Thunderdome?
I don't think anyone.
I
don't think anyone does die.
I thought.
Well, the big Master of Master Blaster, he dies.
Oh, that's true. Master
But
White.
that's like losing. That death is obviously important. There's sad music, weeping. It's a different kind of movie. I like it.
I thought Tina Turner died in that movie too.
No, she just comes in at the end and says, "Ain't we a pair?" and then walks off.
After singing,
goes on to other adventures. Now that her town is totally ruined by that guy.
Do other things.
I don't remember where I saw it, but I read an article or a short thing. It might have been on Facebook. It might have been one of you authors that posted it about how
You're
Mad
ruining
Max
everything?
basically destroys everything.
I said you're quoting me back at me.
Was that you?
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was.
I posted it. I said that all three of those Mad Max movies are remarkable post-apocalyptic civilizations ruined by a homeless man. All.
That's what it was.
Well, yeah, that's what it was. Because that's what he does. He comes by, and they're all doing well. I mean, Thunderdome's doing great.
True.
They got the pig fuel. They got a reasonable set of laws, and people don't seem too miserable outside of that area. And he destroys it. He ruins it by he gets involved in their politics. So the fuel is all let out. The pigs are on a rampage. So the lower area is destroyed. The upper area is destroyed. So they're ruined. They're destroyed. In the new movie, a less reasonable scenario, but still they're surviving. He destroys that. I don't know. He's going to be in charge of it, but he goes on his way. The second movie, those people are farming gas. They're doing well. Along comes Max. They all die horribly.
Well, they did have those raiders out there. That he didn't really show up and bring the raiders with him.
But the Lord Humongous was a reasonable man. He kept telling me that. He's like, I'm a reasonable man. I believed him by the third time he said it.
I'm sure Hitler said that a lot of times too.
He's a reasonable man. Think about those poor kids in Thunderdome at that oasis. The best life ever. He picks them up, and where are they relocated? To a skyscraper in a shitty, bombed-out city. Aren't they glad they met him?
Yeah, that one I will agree with.
So he brought him to Gary?
Nice, you fucked that up.
Yeah, they live in the last green place on Earth, and he's like, here we go. Now you can just live here in a skyscraper. You're going to sleep over there under that desk. You can sleep in that rubble. No food is fine. There's nothing to eat. I mean, they're pretty miserable. And that last but not least, the helicopter guy. He had that underground little colony going in the Thunderdome. He had a kid. Must have had a wife at some point, because if it's the same guy from the second movie. So his underground colony is all screwed up because now he's living in the skyscraper. Mad Max reveals where his hideout is to everybody, so he's fucked. So nobody survives meeting this guy. If you look at it from a distance on the timeline, the extended timeline, no one survives his heroics.
But see, I identify with that if my playthroughs of Fallout have been anything to go by.
What now?
My playthrough of the last couple Fallout games is pretty much that. Except I'm more along the lines of, man, you got a nice jacket.
I'm taking it.
And then they're dead.
Or shoot you in the face.
I think it's amazing. I love the movies. I don't know if you call him a hero. He kind of bumbles in and fucks everything up. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
On a side note, I know this has nothing to do with what's going on. Travis, did you hear they're remaking Big Trouble in Little China?
Yes. I don't want to talk about it.
Why would they do that?
They're making Rock. The Rock.
Yeah, they're going to have The Rock. The complete opposite they could possibly find.
Unless he plays the part of the Chinese kid.
No, he's playing Jack Burton.
Oh, that's a mistake.
Yeah,
guys, you don't seem to understand. Big Trouble in Little China didn't do well. Just like that Walking Tall didn't do well in its original run. But they put The Rock in it, updated it a little bit. Walking Tall did great in the theaters the second time around. So
you fuck with Jack Burton.
But Big Trouble in Little China is going to be big money in company banks. So
yeah, it'd be pretty. It doesn't. It's not of its time. To do it now would be such a mistake because it's not a commentary on what was happening now. It was a commentary on the '80s and on kung fu movies and the buddy genre. So now it would be an actual kung fu computer extravaganza that would just serve no purpose, and nobody would get it. You know, it would just be a sort of empty action movie.
It'll be a period piece.
That is true. I mean, it's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But see, that's Craig. Where you're wrong is Walking Tall didn't become a cult movie over time.
Dude, I've seen Walking Tall, the original, so many times because Joe Don Baker's in it. That is a great film.
And you're weird.
I
like
am
that.
a cult fanatic, and that is a cult film.
It's a good movie.
You also worship at the altar of the Duke brothers, but that, I mean, nobody
The
fucking
Duke
judges
boys.
you for that.
The Duke brothers, I think, have something to do with the Klan. So we're going to make that real clear right now. Them old Duke boys from the Dukes of Hazzard. Not the Duke brothers. Because first off, they were cousins.
See, that shows you how much I know about the show.
Because you're
Gotcha
not
there.
into popular culture
Although
and good things
they
that
do
came out.
have the Dukes, they have a very unfashionable car right now. I will say, I'll tell you that. The Duke boys. That car is quite a collector's item
Yes.
as of this week.
Well, the Volo Auto Museum has one up right now for sale, one of the original 7, which is, I think they want $275K for it. And if I had the money, they wouldn't be looking for the money anymore.
I had one of those. Now, if you're from the generation that had the toys, do you remember there was a pretty good metal, not like a Hot Wheel, it was bigger than that.
I have one downstairs on my shelf.
Oh, okay, I had one of those. It drives. That was a great toy. I mean, we destroyed it, but I should have hung on to it. It'd probably be.
I have a remake of it down there. I also have the Hot Wheel down there somewhere. But last right about Mother's Day when my nephew was over, he ripped the front end off of it.
Oh, geez.
And I go, well, at least it'll glue back on.
My nephew.
It was either that or I let him play with the Munsters coach, which is a lot more fragile.
Did you tell your nephew that it's much easier to fix him than it is to fix your Dukes of Hazzard car?
He's just barely turned 1, so I just kind of let it go.
So you should put it in a letter that he can find later.
Yeah.
That's why all my stuff is downstairs away from the boy.
Yeah.
Because he has it's terrifying. They don't tell you about that in the books. Like, I've read books about parenting, and I've read articles and
I saw books you bought on parenting. What was it? Actually, user's manual. God damn it.
I don't even know where the books that I bought on parenting. Like, I bought The Happiest Baby on the Block and shit like that. But
There was a book in Raising Arizona, the Dr. Spock book. Isn't that the instructions they carry around with the baby? That's an actual book, right? Dr. Spock Guide to Raising Children or something?
Yep. Yeah, that was real
there
big
a
in like
book?
the 70s and 80s, early 80s.
Yes, it was.
It's an actual instruction book.
My mom's books she used were those.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now the new one is what to expect when you're expecting, but that's more about you. That's where it switched to the focus is now about the parent. Oh shit, there it is. What is that? The owner's manual to the baby.
yeah, I bought that when she was pregnant. This is actually hilarious, even if you're not expecting a baby.
Oh, that's awesome.
They don't.
I bought that
they
for
don't
my sister
warn
when she was
you.
pregnant too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to look through it?
No, not really. Not really.
It's
I would have
hilarious.
trusted her anyways, dude. I know your sister.
You guys all
They
have
don't-
kids?
I don't. They do.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, Dennis has one, and then another that's his responsibility. Craig is still living free from children,
Yeah.
and I have a
What does that mean?
17-month-old.
One that's his responsibility. Did it save his life, and now he's bound to it? What exactly does that
I'm
mean?
honor bound to take care of her. Yeah. Stepdaughter.
It took a picture of you and stole your soul. Now you're bound forever. Is that it right behind you? Is that it over your right shoulder?
That's Steve.
Because somebody tell him that is not a child.
Dennis, you broke up.
No, that's Steve the guard gnome, and I have a stepdaughter, so that is my responsibility, partially.
They don't tell you in the books though that from about 9 months old to currently 17 months old, they get very violent. Like, I'm about ready to throw my computer through the window.
Why?
Are you not hearing the top score in Copa America thing that keeps repeating?
Look, what'd you say, Craig? What'd you say?
His TV that keeps playing.
Like I seem to have an ad that's looping for some reason, and
game's going on.
There are no other open windows, so I don't know. I think the wife downloaded a virus.
Probably.
Craig, I was just gonna ignore the fact that he can keep hearing stuff. And dude, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Because I can hear it, but now it's fucking ruined.
Well, I was gonna make the Thunderdome reference, but you guys just kept calling it Beyond Thunderdome, so I had to bide my time.
But before because I know you have to leave, David, and I want to get as much focus on Pig Iron and The Last Projector, which came out not too long ago either, as possible. So we've already gotten out of hand, but now go ahead and plug your website, your social media, anywhere somebody wants to get a hold of you. Can get a hold of you. Go ahead and plug that real quick right from the top.
Well, I guess I don't really update it, but davidjameskeaton.com has publications on it. I don't know if I can really vouch for it, though. There's some old rants on there or something. My internet presence is limited. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. That goes back to Fish Bites Cop days, I guess. That's when I was excited and thought that it was. See that the only comment there is from my sister. and then legal steroids. I kept that because it looked like I had comments then. Some sort of steroid spam. Now I'm glad you pulled this up. The next spam is a fascinating jumble of words. It says, some really wondrous work on behalf of the author of this website dead. The fuck does that
mean? Hey, take it into consideration. At least you had spam comments, because we can't get anybody to comment on our stuff.
No. Chuck called you out for being a weirdo and listening to Screamo, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, be careful, although Chuck, we'll get back at you on that one again.
Yeah, Chuck, we're going to have a conversation, you and me.
So, yeah, that's there's links to the books there. I guess that's about the only thing, really. I don't know.
Well, people should really find you on Facebook, too, because I'm relatively new to Facebook, if you couldn't tell. But of the people that I have found on Facebook recently, you're one of the last. I'll take the last 7 people that I've added to my Facebook or friended on Facebook. You're one of 3 that I haven't just said, you know what, fuck it, I can't listen to this person every day and unfollowed. I didn't unfriend them because I'm still interested in what they got to say or what they're doing. I just can't listen to the everyday, seriously, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, that's probably because you didn't go to high school with me, because I'm getting unfriended by a high school classmate pretty much every 24 hours. It's kind of like a lunch table where people are slowly picking up their trays and leaving over a period of about a year. Because for some reason, everybody in our high school graduating class friended each other. And, I didn't like half those fucking assholes back then, but now they're all on Facebook, posting every day, and after a couple weeks, they started to realize, that we have nothing in common. And they sort of did this passive-aggressive shit where they post stuff directly related to whatever I was ranting about. But then I just started bombing all those all those comments, and so now it's just like a fucking odometer. My friends list just rolls down. It's pretty much everybody I went to high school with, which is beautiful.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
I've come to appreciate, because I follow, just like on Twitter, which I don't use anymore, I follow mostly authors, like people that I'm interested in reading or people that I am reading and I want to talk to, because I have this issue with being a fanboy and fucking kidding me. There's nothing open.
Sounds like the birds.
Where the fuck is it coming from?
A speaker somewhere.
I have no open windows. God damn it. Where was I?
Just pretend you don't hear it, Travis. Just go along.
I have issues with fanboydom, and when I find authors that I just, because authors are like my rock stars, I guess, because I don't listen to much music anymore. But so I stalk them, I guess is what you could technically call it. So if I find a book, I'm like, oh shit, I need to talk to this person, or I need to see what else this person's got, or I gotta see what else this person's got to say. Then I find them on whichever social media platform I'm using at the moment, and then try to get them on the show because of that. But when it comes to, like, not only do you plug your books and you talk about your books and it's not annoying the way you self-promote, which only a handful of authors that I've followed do correctly, where it's not in your face, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. It's, hey, I've got this book, you might want to check it out, type thing. Anthony Neil Smith does that perfectly. Like, hey, here's this thing that I wrote, you might like it. If not, I really don't give a shit. Here you go. Like once a week.
Well, he gives a shit. Don't let him fool you.
Not according to
right now,
not
he's
according
sitting in the
to
corner
social
flicking
media.
a light switch on and off with 2 tickets to fucking Madame Butterfly. That's how much he cares. He cares about all this stuff. But online, he's if you got to catch him on the upswing. He's got a nice bipolar roller coaster going. But he cares deeply. But no, I hear what you're saying. I know him outside of Facebook, so I could talk some shit, because he's probably gonna be the only person that I know who listens to this. But yeah, that dude is hilarious on Facebook. I like his tantrums. But more importantly, I like his books. And the as far as people being irritating on Facebook, I've made the mistake of following some authors that I originally thought it would be interesting to connect with on there, and they turn out to be just a real pain in the ass and obnoxious. But I start to think, like, how important is that? Like, the authors that I read now that have no Facebook presence at all are they're probably pretty horrible people in real life, judging by their 12 divorces and their run-ins with various law enforcement or employers. So they would be horrible people. But I can separate the two. I can separate anything, I guess, within reason that an author does and still enjoy their work. But maybe not Facebook. Like, I have to separate myself from that, because they will poison the well after a while. You'll sit there and think, God, I wish I never would have clicked that button, because I can't even look at you anymore. But so it's a bit of a contradiction. But Facebook just ruins everything, and I shouldn't be on there as much as I am.
Well, I'm glad that you are, because that's how we got you on the show. But that is a perfect example of the last 2 days. I can't count. Well, I can if I really wanted to. But
You got your shoes on.
Yeah.
I was
I gotta take the shoes off to be able
school.
to do it correctly. But I can't tell you how many people in the last 2 days that I've either unfriended or unfollowed. Because there's this huge controversy now, this huge thing about the South Carolina guy and the shooting at the church, which we'll get into the second half of the show, because I have my own rants and raves about it. But people who have absolutely no position really outside of just being a person and being a citizen of this country, they're just spouting off about it. And it's just, oh, I have this thought, let me vomit it onto the internet.
Right.
And I have to, after engaging for just a moment, I have to say, fuck it, I'm done. I can't do this. And then I see that post, they comment and they recomment and they recomment. It's like, I'm done. I'm done watching your shit show for a moment.
Well,
I'll come back in a week.
How does someone do the I'm done? Because I'd love to learn that move. The I'm done thing.
There's a part
For
of
the sake of my sanity.
There's a part of Facebook. I think you got to do it from a browser on your computer. I'm not positive on that. At least I know I haven't been able to figure it out in iOS yet. But on the browser, I've been able to like click on their name and you can just like kind of mute them, so their stuff doesn't show up in your feed. But they have no idea, so they assume you're still seeing everything, all their goddamn baby pictures, and
Well, that's
parenting advice about not vaccinating their kids. So you just mute them. You're still friends, but you don't have to hear their bullshit.
Well, I think
like how I live my life.
Backdoor version of that, because if you argue with someone long enough, they'll block you, so then they vanish. So then, added bonus, other people show up and look at that comment thread, and it looks like you're talking to your. Who's he talking to? So then you lose another one. So it's like it's a bonus situation. So they mute themselves, and then it just leaves me talking to myself like a crazy person with 16 comments, where I'm arguing. I'm saying, well, wait, what are you trying to say? Which makes no sense with a blank comment above it. But.
One of my favorites is on Reddit, when there'll be a thread, and it'll just be deleted. There'll be like 13 things deleted, and the last one's, yeah, fuck all you guys. And it's like, oh, what happened?
That says Anthony Neil Smith.
Well, that's part of what I appreciate about your Facebook is even if you bring up, like you talked about the South Carolina thing, you don't do it in a way that's just a big, I'm a fucking asshole and I have my opinion, and if you don't like it, then fuck you. Which the one comment that you made that could possibly be construed that way is probably my favorite of all time. Let me see if I can't find it because I'm not that fast. But you just all I'm trying to say is people need to find you on Facebook, because everything you have to say is either hilarious or interesting enough that you don't need to worry about having that dilemma of, hey, I like this person, but do I need to follow them or do I need to be a friend with them?
Well, there's that weird moment when shit happens, every week. There's some sort of giant tragedy, and you sit there and you think, I got to say something about it, or else, I mean, you see so many people saying shit that annoys you, and then the burden is, can you say something about it without having an argument with someone that you're not actually talking to? Because that's my biggest problem is I read the feed, and those people are reacting to what they've read, but they're not actually talking to those people. So you get somebody saying, if you're the kind of person that blah, 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 and you're just like, fuck you, who are you talking to? Because they're talking to somebody that's not there. They're talking to somebody, they're talking to the 6 other posts they just read. And that disconnect is what makes Facebook what it is, which is nonstop people talking to the last 6 posts they read rather than talking to somebody else. So I can at least distance myself one step away from that. I still might make the same point, the same larger point about the obviousness of the problem, but it's always a point that everybody fucking knows anyway. It's just I'm getting it off my chest because it's like, how do you not comment on something huge and horrible that just happens? But that's what I can't stand is that or the microphone as if anybody fucking cares. Important statement right now about this tragedy, and then it's like an Oscar speech. I hate that shit too. I mean, there's somewhere in between is an honest response, a conversational kind of response, and that's what Facebook lacks. It's either a big Oscar speech or a bunch of psychotics talking to comments that they read that you're not privy to. So that's the biggest problem I have with it. And it took me many years to stop doing it.
Or you get the Kanye West speech, was like, what are you even doing on here? Nothing to fucking...
Yeah. Yeah, who are you talking to? That's what I say to my computer screen. That's the irony of it, is that I look like a crazy person because every day I'm talking to my computer screen saying, who are you talking to? If somebody walked in on that, they'd fucking taser me. Who are you talking to? That's all I'm saying to my fucking Facebook feed every day.
I have the misfortune of reading it on my phone at work, so I'm already in a bad mood because I'm at work, and then I'll open Facebook and I want to fucking chuck my phone out the door because it's like I can't. The internet is ruined for me because I found social media, and it's just like every day it's something, and a lot of times it's somebody that I either respect or I have some modicum of interest in, including my mom. My mom posts some or like links to some shit that is just like, seriously, you're gonna fucking link to that? Like that's the worst possible thing you could possibly
Travis,
link to.
I think a good way to not get back at, but show her what it looks like when you link to that, when she links to that kind of stuff. Link to the Doom 4 trailer for the gameplay footage. I think she might get a kick out of that.
Well,
because that came out.
I don't think my mom would understand the context of a Doom 4 trailer.
Oh my god, there's just the gameplay trailer. There's no context to it. It's just murder and hacking up demons and a giant Satan at the end, and that's about it.
She'd probably wonder what I was trying to say because, well, my mom. I love my mom with everything that I got, but that has to do with, like, one of the things she posted was some. I think he might be the son of Billy Graham or something, some reverend somewhere, talking about the Indiana thing, the Freedom of Religion Act bullshit that they passed, and then basically squashed a month later because people were saying, yeah, fuck you, Indiana, we don't need to come there.
Well, no, it wasn't even that as much as it was the people of Indiana saying, who the fuck gave you the right to sign this behind closed doors? Yeah. There was no vote. I had no choice in the matter.
I didn't even know it was there. Yeah, I just happened to open up the paper one day and went, what the fuck is this?
Yep.
Well, she linked to a story or an article he wrote about the intolerant gays pushing their satanic agenda.
Oh, no.
And I had to say something. It was like, I'm sorry, Mom, but you might not want to read this one, because she linked to it, she shared it or something. I'm not sure how Facebook actually works in that respect, but for some reason it showed up in her timeline for me, and I had to start out with, Mom, you're probably not going to want to read this one, but I have to say something.
And then you tried to start your hashtag not safe for moms. Yeah. I read that and I turned off fucking Facebook.
Listen, man, I care what my mom thinks. Kind of.
I posted The last thing I think I posted on Facebook was Odorous Urungus reading Goodnight Moon, and I made sure my mom was linked to it.
Is he the one that died?
Yeah, the heroin overdose last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you also have the benefit of you and Dennis have moms that are, like, cool like that.
My mom's incredibly Catholic.
And Travis, my mom's dead. So
Yeah,
I mean,
douche nozzle.
Anything I post on Facebook, she's not seeing. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. And if she does, that's fucked up. I'm not gonna lie.
Is this the Kanye West thing you're talking about?
What the fuck is this? Oh no.
I've watched that season, that show, like, I don't know how many times now. And like 2 days ago, I watched that episode. That was the first time I noticed his shirt said George Bush doesn't care about black puppets.
Now that my ads are over, I just want to say fuck both of you because you completely took that and ran with it the opposite direction that I wanted it to go. Anyway, back to David because we're going to lose you any moment now. In fact, I'm surprised that you're still on now that I look at the
My
clock.
friend, he's not here yet. The movie starts at 8:30, but it's literally a block away. But last time we went, it's Mad Max again. I want to see it again. But if I get over there in the next 15 minutes, I'll be good. Or next 10 minutes. As soon as he walks in here, there's always a shit ton of previews, at least a half-hour preview. So I'm not too worried. My biggest concern is that I'm going to sign off, and you guys are going to tackle issues like the Holocaust or some shit, and then it's going to be billed as the special Holocaust episode of whatever this thing is, and then my face will be attached to the special racially charged Holocaust issue where you guys make the front page for your horror, and I won't be out there to stick up for sanity because you guys will have lost your minds, and this will go into 4 in the morning. And
Well, I was planning a Pol Pot.
That's my concern. I don't think that you guys should be left alone for the second half of the show. That's what I don't think should happen.
I can actually sum it up real quick. Travis is going to go off on a tangent, and then after we think Travis has gone too far, Craig and I will start talking about video games just to shut him up.
About 30 seconds into his tangent.
We'll start talking about Fallout 4 and Destiny and Doom 4 and all the cool games we saw at E3. So there.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We try to keep Travis on an even keel. Sometimes it's a little harder than expected, but we try.
So he's if this was Public Enemy, he'd be the Flavor Flav situation. He would be the wild card of the band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even that much of a wild card. I just, like, every once in a while, I'll want to take it in a more serious direction, and I'll want to tackle these social issues at hand.
You're the Chuck D of
both Craig and Dennis simultaneously say, you know what, fuck you, Travis, we're not going to talk about that.
You're the other guy. Who's the guy who left
something completely and absolutely different.
So, I can't think of his name. You guys don't listen to Public Enemy, I don't think.
All I can think of is Chuck D and Flavor Flav. That's all I can think of.
There's that third guy, and he left because he was always going off on serious tangents, and they got sick of it in the studio. They kicked him out.
Oh, another hint about how we should run the show. I get it.
It'll come to me later.
Whatever, Craig.
It'll be in the middle of the night, and you'll wake up. It's that guy.
That guy right there.
I'll get a Facebook alert. This is who I was talking about.
It's got a doctor name or something. God damn it! No, Professor Griff. That's
Professor Griff.
Yeah, that's him. That's who you are, Professor Griff.
Yeah, I guess I would be the Professor Griff of the show, and which is funny because it started out as a show about, like, originally our show was called Two Ranting Idiots. So our show was about just coming on and talking about the current events of the day and having the opinions of two older, nerdy white guys who are completely irrelevant to the subject. and then talking about it for an hour and 15 minutes. And then it changed because we realized that you can only do that so many times before it gets really, really old and nobody wants to hear it anymore.
Like this.
And now, whenever I want to take it back in that serious direction, Dennis and Craig say no.
Well, you can start your own show.
You know how to.
You guys mocked me for that idea too.
You just wait till I start my own show and I go solo and break out.
That didn't work out too well for Flavor Flav, actually.
Well, I'll be the Chuck D and Dennis can be Flava Flav.
That's all right.
He'll just tag along for my solo show.
That's all right. I'll be the weird guy that goes on really weird celebrity shows just for the fuck of it. I don't know. Why are you here? I have no clue. Someone said to. That's how much I really much run my life, anyways. I mean, why'd you do that?
But to try and oh my god, this computer's gonna die. To try and get back before we lose you, and we won't go down any paths that might taint the name of David James Keaton.
Oh, it's
just because we started with a guest, so in order to keep it separate, we won't tackle anything terribly important.
My concern wasn't that as much as I wouldn't want to miss arguing about that stuff. I'll probably feel it when I'm watching Mad Max. There'll be a cold breeze will blow through the theater, and I'll know that somebody just said, "Let's talk about the Holocaust."
Like, son of a bitch. They did it.
Well, I might have to pull a Professor Griff here, and I might have to leave you guys. I hear some knocking.
All right.
So, however you want to wrap this up.
All right. Yeah.
We're gonna have to have you back on in order to get deeper into your actual writing and not sidetrack the entire show into things that have nothing to do with your writing.
But yeah, read the last projector was the one before the Western. I check that out. Oh, there we go. It's us.
There you go. And I found the cover art for the episode.
Thank you so much for being patient with our technical difficulties at the beginning and patient for our rather scattered way of doing things on the show. We're going to have you back on so we can get deeper into your writing. But thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys, and good online meeting all three of you, and I'll see you on Facebook. I'll say some stupid shit on Facebook.
Thanks, David. Have fun at Mad Max.
All right, talk to you guys. Bye.
All right. So we're gonna end the episode then.
You want to end it there and then have a new episode?
Yeah, my name's Sam, and I don't give a fuck.
Say thanks for listening, Hank. Thanks for listening, Chuck.
Chuck. Goodbye. You and me, bud.
And I hope you find your safe place. Your refuge. Thank you.
What the fuck? I didn't even know this was oh shit! What the fuck?
That's fucking expecting that. Oh. Could have fucking warned me, man. Holy shit.